Good morning.
Good morning.
How is Sue doing today?
She is good, and Mark is there too. So I am going to
How's
mute.
Mark today also?
Oh, hello. Where's Kirsten?
She's in California.
For a birthday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And to visit Red.
How long is she there?
She's coming back on Tuesday morning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, she's had a nice visit there.
Good.
Celebrated without me. Actually, we celebrated before, and then it's like a month-long thing with her
Of
birthday.
course. Of
Yeah.
course.
Birthday month. They should just call it birth month. Get rid of the day, right? No birthday, just birth month.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. I will mute.
All
Thanks.
right. Sunday fun day is underway. We're going to come all the way to the backs of our mat, please. And as we come back there, I'd like you to separate your feet just a little wider than hip width apart. And then take your toes, name them in towards the center line of the body. And as you do so, I'd like you to bring some straightness to the legs. So to pull through the belly into the spine and elongate the spine all the way up through. As we come up to about the chest, I'd like you to proud it out. Drop the chin so the underside runs parallel to the earth. And imagine you have a string on the top of the head, pulling it towards the sky. Let's open the palms to face forward, draw the elbows backwards. And as we do so, I'd like you to start focusing on breath. Inhale, feel the body kind of expanding, elongating skyward. And as you exhale, kind of like a ratchet would work, we don't press. We keep what we built and we try to add to it. So let's take a few more breaths with that little simple exercise in mind. On the next breath, let's serve the arms out. Let's bring the forearms and baby fingers together. And let's start with everything closed down at the hand. We're going to take our our thumbs, open them up, and then spiral them downwards and serve out a little deeper that platter or imaginary platter that we're holding. And on the next breath, as you release it, let's bring hands over hearts. And while we hold here, I'd like you to initiate a little isometric activation, like the heels are spiraling outwards. And as you do so, let's push the palms together and now separate the fingers and thumbs and rotate them in towards the chest. As we elevate the elbows, I'd like you to keep the palms together. Take a big breath in, proud out that chest of yours. Try to raise those elbows a little higher. Try to keep that chin or the underside thereof parallel with the earth. And as you release your next breath, push those hands to the sky, fold it all the way down, and hold on it for a couple breaths. As you inhale and exhale, just enjoy a little bit of reprieve. Now, as we begin to progress this, I'd like you to inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, let the upper body fold. Hold on this, and let's reposition the body so that we feel most of the weight in the heel, which is simply draw your ass backwards. Now, while it's there, I'd like you to push the ball of each big toe into the mat. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold. And let's do this for a few more repetitions. Let's hold it in the up position and proud out the chest. And imagine that string that was pulling our head to the sky is now pulling it straight forwards, giving as much spinal length, neck length as possible. And as you release your next breath, let the upper body fold down, bend both knees, and then step both toes so they aim straight forward. We're going to keep in that same spot as we now walk the hands inside the feet. We're going to have a little bit of cupping, so like the hands or fingers themselves are kind of over an imaginary grapefruit, if you will. And we have just tips touching the earth. I'd like you to push the tips into the earth and sink the chest into the arms. As you inhale, extend the spine. Keep the spine in extension and bend both knees. As we lower the booty, I'd like you to kind of keep the spine extending as best you can. On the next breath, let's push those hips of ours to the sky. And then as you release your next breath, extend the spine, proud out the chest, bend both knees, pull that imaginary string and hold for a couple breaths, and then push it back to the sky. Let the head dangle down. As you inhale, extend to a flat back, crowd out the chest, pull the spring, drop your booty. Keep those fingertips pushing into the earth, keep that chest close to the earth. And now push back to the sky, the hips. Bring hands back over hearts. As you inhale, extend to tabletop back. As you release the breath, draw the hips backwards to give me a pronounced weighting to the heels. As you inhale, let's push those arms forward and come all the way back up to standing. Oh, all of this just to warm up. Now, pick the left hand down onto that left hip. Take that left elbow, sweep it backwards. Take the right hand, reach it high to the sky, and sweep it across the midline. And as you do so, take the right hip and push it out to the side. Now, take the right hip and kind of circle it, if you will, forward and back. And as you do so, try not to incorporate any other movement. It's just simply the hip articulating forward and back. And then come back up straight, switch up sides. Left hand reaching to the sky, bring it slightly across the midline of the body as that left hip pushes out and begin to arch back and forth. Keep that arm reaching high, right? Not just kind of hanging out there. This is an active stretch that we're working. And then come back up center, let both arms fall beside your body. Draw the shoulders up to the ears. Open the palms to face forward as you draw the elbows backwards. Separate the fingers widely. Now, pull the forearms up, elbow height, and begin to open and close. When you close, bring the tips of the baby fingers together. And when you open, use the thumbs to kind of pull open widely as you can those arms and slowly articulate in and out. While we're doing this, we're going to add in some components here. Now, I'd like you to isometrically activate the heels, try to remove them or move them off the center line, keeping those feet static. While you create that activation, I'd like you to take the ball of each big toe and push it into the mat. And while you've got both of those things going on, I'd like you to register the weight bearing in the feet. Now, if you're kind of heavy to the toes, you're going to drift backwards. And if you're heavy to the heels, you're going to drift forwards until you have a balance between the two. And now that we found that, we're going to sweep the arms to the sky, separated about shoulder width apart, fingers nice and wide, pull high into the sky as you fill the lungs, round out the chest, and relax the arms down. Nice. Now, bring the hands forward, up shoulder heights. Continuing this warm-up of ours as we begin to lower down, I want you to be mindful of what goes on pelvically. So we have our arms extended out, but I want you to make sure we're not rocking forward or back with the pelvis. I like you to kind of engage six-pack as you lower down. Try not to wink out or wink in. Try to keep it nice and neutral all the way down as far as you can. Remember, we're warming up, and I want you to be mindful of what's able to be done by your body now. And as it starts to incorporate the movement pattern, and remember where our strength is and where it needs to be, pelvically stable, see if you can extend the depth down of this movement. We're going to add another component in here, and that's when we move down, we're going to isometrically activate those heels and push all the way up. And relax as we lower. Isometrically activate those heels, push up, and come down one more time. Big external rotation through the heels, driving the force up, sweep the arms to the sky. Big breath in, powerful exhale, take it down to the mat. Soft landing, nice. Gonna grab a bit of water if you need. Always remember, you can never say enough. Water as you need. Cheers to everybody. When we arrive down on the floor, We're gonna come over to the left side of the mat, work on her hips. Excuse me, down the wrong too. Now, I'm finding that alignment that you're probably familiar with. Thigh running parallel to the edge of the mat, 90 degrees in that knee. And now we're gonna lift the knee inwardly and rotate it externally. I'm gonna move this a few times, up and down. I'm gonna try to remain nice and tall. Our sit bones, SIT, those bony protuberances are our pelvic girdle. I'd like you to make sure that we're not heavy to the front or left side, but preferred that you are equal to both. So we haven't leaned into this. We didn't do a Sheryl Sandberg on this one. Hold nice and tall, keep nice and engaged. A couple more repetitions. We're really hinging on that outside of that left foot. I'm bringing hands over heart, just to help keep something with my arms going on. And I'm going to hold down, and then I'm going to begin to lean forward. Now, weight through those hips and bars are going to change, of course. It's going to be more pronounced on that left side. I'm dropping my left hand down. I'm going to reach my right hand forward, and I'm going to begin to walk it out. As I do so, I'm going to put a bend into my left elbow to help offset some of the upper body weight. Now, when we do this, you might notice a pronounced lifting of that right hip. So let's walk it back in. And if you can now, try to anchor down the hip and begin to walk it out. Slightly different. So the muscles that pull in this type of activation and setup, slightly different. So that nice pull for that right side body as the fingers walk forward, keep that right sit bone touching. Doesn't have to be heavily weighted. And it doesn't have to be on the mat. It's just that orientation or activation of those muscles help to intensify this lengthening of the right side body muscles. Lock it back in and switch up sides. Oh. So left leg, put a 45-degree angle, right knee, right hip, right thigh, all kind of in that nice line. And we begin to grow the spine. We position so that we have relatively equal weight bearing, may not be exactly equal, just your best version of it. And then we're going to start to lift and lower that right leg of ours. You can bring hands over heart if you like. One of the things I want you to be mindful of is not to let existing muscular or skeletal muscular behavior, try to say that word 5 times fast, creep in, which is basically don't round over, try to be nice and tall, engaging, lengthening, growing as we continue to raise and lower that right leg. Try to work on the external component, try to get a little closer without touching the leg. It's all about muscle activation. When you use muscle, you develop it, or you keep it from degrading further. So let's try our best to create that external rotation. All right, now, release the hands over heart. Left side down as best we can. Left hand walks forward. Same thing as we walk forward, the left fingers. Try to keep the shoulders square to the plane of movement, moving forward. So don't try to be left forward or shoulder, right shoulder forward, more of left. Just nice and square as we pull and lengthen through that left side this time. Try to keep that exterior rotation of that right knee towards the earth and try as best you can. Keep that left sit bone pushing down into the mat. Going to be here for a couple more breaths. And when you're ready, come back up. Now, I'm going to switch sides. We're going to start doing more progression here as we bring our same setup to the opposite side. Now I'm going to take that 45-degree leg and step it backwards. I'd like you to bring your left forearm down onto the mat. And now we're going to Sheryl Sandberg this thing by leaning in. So we're going to have a deep, pronounced weighting more to that left side. As we do so, I'd like you to take the right knee and try to open it away. So if it's rotated internally, I'd like you to try to externally rotate it. And we're going to articulate inwardly with that knee. So we're like hinging on the inside of the right foot. And we're going to open it back up. And you may notice that there's, oh, for me, this is like a tough exercise. Hopefully you're finding it a little easier than I am. We rotate internally and externally, try to keep the chest nice and proud. Don't kind of collapse into this. And we're going to hold open and bring that right foot back and lower the right knee down onto the earth. Nice. Now, try to get 90 degrees in both knees. So on one, this is basically set up where the left thigh is parallel to the mat and the right shin is parallel to the opposite side of the mat. Just take your right hand, reach up and into the sky, and then bring it straight across the body. Separate those right fingers and use them to pull everything nice and long. As you do so, I'd like you to try to push that right knee into the earth without lifting that left hip up. It's about lengthening through that right side, pulling, 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 inhaling, getting longer. Exhale, bring it down. Switch up sides. Nice. All right. So we start off in this, coming down onto the right forearm. We're going to begin to articulate up and down. Chest is nice and proud. Rotation is not a fast thing. It's a slow, calculated movement all the way down. Focus more on the opening, external rotation, and enjoy as best you can. One of the things you may notice as you move is that there's jerkiness in the movement. And I'd like you to try to make control of it. So it's smooth down and smooth up. As opposed to stage, try to create a nice opening. So in many regards, when we get these jerky type of movements, it's because it's a new movement pattern for our bodies. And that unsureness creates a little bit of uncertainty in terms of movement patterns. So I'd like you to consciously override what's going on subconsciously to make this as smooth of a journey as possible. All right, so let's come back up. Let's drop that left knee, left side. We get our 90 and 90, nice and tall. I'm going to take the left hand up. I'm going to sweep it across the midline of the body. As I come back down onto my right forearm, my left fingers are separated nice and widely, and I'm going to begin to pull that whole left side open. Fingers, arms, all working together. We're pulling with the fingers so that the arm and the elbow joint is straight. And to keep that left knee pushing into the mat as we grow another 5-6 inches. I'm joking, of course. As you release your next breath, lower the right arm, sweep that left leg around, come back onto both sit bones. You're going to find that by rocking pelvically, and so you're going to hear like almost like a click, click, but it's not quite that. You're going to feel it, so you'll know you're kind of on your sit bones because it feels like you're off your tailbone. So this is the inward rotation. By rotating pelvically, give the spinal column an opportunity to lengthen. I want you to try to have that experience as best you can. So we bring hands over hearts. And make sure the feet are flexed. We begin to hold staff pose for a second or two. As we stay here, we're going to add little nuances into staff pose. So I want you to focus on rotating internally the pelvic girdle. So you're pulling from the top, forward and down. You're pulling that six-pack muscle, or engaging it so that it's nice and strong. And then we're building the base up, of course. Once we have that six-pack engagement, I'm going to take the chest, crowd it out. We're going to hold on this as we add a third component, which is basically that imaginary string, pulling the spinal column and neck nice and long. Of course, the neck is part of the spinal column, but so much more drama than we say it, right? Holding for a couple more breaths. And as you release your next breath, with back elongating, I'll make it a hip or chop through the hips and bring your fingertips to the earth. So we have kind of like the mid belly of the spine, if you will, nice and long. You might feel a little bit of pull of those muscles. That's really kind of where the origin, a lot of the upper back muscles start low, kind of in that region. Like we keep the chest nice and proud and walk the fingers forward. Feel a nice pull through the back side of the legs. Keep that pelvic rotation, right? We're trying to roll up under those sit bones at all times. Now, if your legs fatigue, if those hip flexors go up, take a break, of course, right? This is all about building. If it's starting to cramp, you should be drinking more water. All right, let's walk it back. Step those legs in so they're about hip width apart in Pilates style. So we're going to bring our arms at this time. We're going to rock back, get onto that tailbone, and imprint vertebrae by vertebrae, low, middle, upper back, all the way down. Oh, keep those arms reaching for the sky. And I want you to nestle the shoulders. I simply mean by pulling the shoulder towards the earth and flatten out that shoulder blade. You feel like there's a nice broad base of support across the back. I'm going to take your head and gently rotate it left, back to center, over to the right, and do that a couple more times. As you rotate from side to side, I'd like you to try not to meet the chin with the shoulder. I want you to actively pull the shoulders down towards the hips and keep those shoulder blades flattened out to enjoy a nice, hopefully nice release from your neck. Now, let's bring it back straight. Rock your chin into your chest. And let's bring it back up Pilates style. Slowly. Coming all the way up. This time I'm going to keep the arch in the back. I'm going to dive the fingertips down. When they arrive towards the feet, see if you can kind of keep the flexion in the spine as you extend the fingertips, hopefully beyond. You feel a nice pull to that low back of ours. Now rotate your fingertips down onto the earth. Keep those fingers or those hands cupped. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the back in extension and drag the fingertips along as you come back up to staff pose. Hands return back over hearts. Feet flexed. Pelvic rock down onto the tailbone, vertebrae by vertebrae, lower it down. Hands extend directly up to the sky. Now, while we're here, I'd like you to look down at your feet and see what they're doing. If they've rotated open, I'd like you to take an orientation of the toes aiming more skyward. Same thing if they rotated internally. So we have that nice up and down type of rotation or orientation in the feet. You're going to flex the toes, flex the feet, sorry. And I'm going to keep the feet flexed as we Pilates style it up. Chin drops and peel vertebrae by vertebrae all the way up. Keep the arch in the back. As the fingertips arrive towards the earth, begin to move them forward while you keep that arch in the back. Rotate the fingertips back to the earth, hands cupped, as we bring extension back to the spinal column. Keep the chest proud as you drag those tips back. Come back, hands over hearts. Hold on this for 1 second. Now, while we're here, we're going to add a little component in. We're going to take the right leg and lift it up, bring it over, tap the heel to that left toe, lower it back down. Whoa, a little bit of muscle back going on there. And we're going to do left side. Tap, lift. This is really 2 exercises in one. The hip flexor and one of our important, wow, a little bit crampy one, excuse me. Important quadricep. Ah, 1, 2, finally got rid of that cramp. And 3 repetitions each side. Arms extend out. Drop the chin into the chest and begin to lower down Pilates style. Oh. nice and slow. This time, sweep the arms all the way back. While the arms are pulling back, take a little look down at your feet. Make sure that you're orienting the toes straight up. Try to get a feeling for that is, like how it feels down. While we hold this length of the arms, we're using fingers to actively pull everything backwards. I'd like you to hollow out the belly, and we're going to begin to articulate the legs. I want you to try to rotate now. This is an important aspect. Knees remain straight as best you can. They may bend, that's fine, but try to keep that nice straightness through them as you rotate internally the toes. Hold on this as you pull along the upper body. And then let the toes begin to be aligned with the upward orientation as you bring hands back up over the chest. Drop that chin into the chest and slowly peel it up. Oh, my goodness. Keep the chin tucked, keep that spine flexed. Dive it down and extend it out. Now, while we hold this out extended, I'd like you to take flexed foot and try to rotate that foot against the hand. So we have internal rotation at the feet, external rotation at the arms. We're trying to push the feet away as they try to turn inwardly. Now, relax that. Fingertips drop to the earth. Hands are cupped, of course. Spine goes to extension. Proud of that chest. Keep the chest proud as you drag your fingers back. And bring both palms beside the hips. You come onto the palms. I like you to make the chest nice and proud. And take your chin, drop it into your chest. Raise it up. Take a look to the sky. And begin to articulate up and down. Nice and slow. Now, while you do this, I want you to pay attention to what's going on with the shoulders. Now, if your head goes up and down, are you beginning to exhibit inward rotation of the shoulders? And if you are, I'd like you to push the palms to the mat, round the chest, and continue on the motion up and down. It really optimizes the length that we're really pulling that series of muscles, that orientation. That initiative. Neck extension and neck flexion. A little bit of exercise for them also. This is always important. You know, when we sit, gravity pulls on the head. We normally have an inward rotation of the skull. This is one of good exercise to help kind of strengthen those muscles, to vascularize, get some blood flow in them so they can operate more efficiently. And finally, we're going to hold up, proud through the chest, hands come over heart. Pilates style, we're going to take it back down. Drop the chin, imprint each vertebrae, lower all the way down, and step both feet in towards your butt. Pelvic rocking we've done before. Tailbone versus low back skin. I'd like you to try to rock your pelvic girdle. Again, not to kill the dead horse, but it's almost like you grab the pubis area and pull it up and in towards the spinal column, the belly button, if you will, to get that nice engagement. If your low back skin doesn't get to the mat, let's not worry about that. I'd like you to just rate that activation. While you hold on that, I'd like you to make sure the feet are flat to the earth, a little wider than hip width apart. And we're going to bring our hands up over the chest, palms nice and wide. We're going to take the elbows and rotate them externally so the palms face forward. We're going to keep those fingers nice and wide as we slowly let the back of the arms descend towards the mat. So when we arrive with arms on the back thereof, that's the upper arm, of course, we have like a field goal. It's a 90-degree bend in the elbow. And we're going to rock pelvically up onto the tailbone and rock back so we have that low back skin. And we're going to simply move slowly forward and back pelvic rocking, if you will. Little rock and roll fest. All right, now let's find that low back connection, low back skin connection. Take the hands, pull them straight up. Take the straightness out of the elbows so we have nice long arms. And let's make sure your head is nice in position with the back of the head. It's nice and low, connected to the mat. And we're going to draw the arms backwards, palms facing to the sky. Pull long with the fingers. Bring those arms back over chest. Extend that left leg all the way out. And extend that right leg at about a 45-degree angle as we begin to work our rectus abdominis, our six-pack muscle. I'd like you to drift the fingers, aim them up towards the toes of that right foot, and slowly try to rise up. Oh, slowly, do your best effort. You may not even get off. You may not even launch. That's fine. You just want to keep the activation. You get up, great. If you don't, that's also great. You just want that strong activation in that rectus abdominis, the six-pack muscle. We're going to do that again as we relax it down, come back up. Oh, I'm cheating a little bit, but you can do the same thing. Still a good exercise, even if you cheat at it. 3 times is the charm with this exercise. Oh boy, we really got it that time. And as we lower down, we're going to switch up sides. Continue the fun on the opposite leg. 45-degree angle. Let's get it started. Oh, yeah. Oh. And you notice when muscles start to fatigue, they deliver less than the result department. But again, it's all about activation. So try to give your best crunch. If you got it. One more time. All the way up. Oh. And all the way back. And that exercise is done. Let's bring the legs long. Point the toes, sweep the arms backwards, fingers and toes pull opposite direction as you fill those lungs. As you exhale, sweep the hands up, come back up to a seated position. When you arrive there, sweep the legs backwards, we're going to come down onto our belly. We're going to offer a drink to anyone that wants it, drink of water, of course. Cheers, everybody. When we sweep around, we come onto our forearms. So it's like a little modified baby cobra. So spinal extension, neck pulling long, and I'm going to check in with that neck arc. So a lot of times when we get into a new or prone type position, a lot of our sedentary behaviors start to express. So I'd like you to take your elbows and you can just like walk your hands, forearms, elbows a little more forward so that relative to your shoulder position, the elbow, forearm is a little more forward of that. And that may be too much of an effort for some of the muscles that we're about to use. And if you need to, you can always walk the elbow back so it's a little bit underneath or behind that shoulder of yours. Now that we've kind of got it all set up, I'd like you to let the chin drop down into the chest. And then I'd like you to pull the neck long so you face down at the earth and then pull the back of the head to the sky. And then I'd like you to pull your belly button up and into your spinal column and proud out the chest. And take a couple of breaths. And as you release the breath, let the chest sink in between the arms and let the head kind of drop down. As we begin this next round, I'd like you to make sure your toes are tucked. As we grow the spinal column and pull the back of the head so that the nose faces down at the earth. I'd like you to proud out the chest and hollow out that belly. And now we're going to relax it back down, let the chest sink in between the arms, let the head fall. And come back to this neck long, chest proud, belly pulling up and into the spine. Our toes, we tucked them under earlier, hope we remain so as we keep that six-pack muscle engaged. You take the hips, the pubis bone up off the mat to 8-point plank. You're gonna hold on this for about 5 more seconds. And then we're gonna slowly lower back down. Proud out the chest, lengthen for the neck. Hollow out the belly. Pull those hips up off the earth. Hold for a few seconds. Lower back down. We're gonna do this one more time. We're gonna add a little nuance in this on this last repetition. Chest proud, neck long. Hollow out the belly. Lift those hips up. And now I want you to activate your 6-pack, like you're gonna shoot a cannon into it. Fire it up, let the back arch. And as you release your breath, lower your body, take your hands underneath your shoulders and push up onto all fours. All right. Getting some stuff done today. I'm gonna grab some more water. My throat's a little sore today, so excuse me. All right. So, hands wider than shoulder width apart, knees about hip width apart. Now, moving up and down in between the arms. That's our torso that can move. So the elbows can bend. I want you to take the elbows and spiral them internally. And then keep your neck nice and long so the head's not just falling off the body. There's actual muscle engagement. Holding that head up parallel, back of the head, of course, parallel to the back itself. And just to keep the elbows rotating internally, I'd like you to try to take your torso and let it drop in between the arms. So nothing else has changed. Head hasn't fallen, elbows haven't bent. We just lowered the torso in between the arms. We're going to hold on that. So this is a great exercise to help counterbalance internal rotation of the shoulders. That's exactly what we did when we dropped the torso in between the arms. Now, push up the torso. And now you have internal rotation. Lower down the torso, you have external rotation of your shoulder blades. Funny how that works. Now, so we're just going to articulate up and down. Elbows remain rotating internally. Spinal column nice and long, as is the neck, as we slowly oscillate up and down, kind of like a wave-like motion. Optimizing our push, optimizing our lower, without compromising any of the setup. Do a few more repetitions. You may notice that those muscles start to burn a little bit, and that's good news. That's stuff being done that's good for our body. A little bit of muscle burn, always good. Now hold it in the up position. We're now internally rotated. I'd like you to drop the head. Tuck the pubis, pull it up and into the belly button. So we have a big arch in the spine. We're going to take the knees and separate them out to the width of the mat. We're going to take the tops of the feet down onto the mats. And we're going to keep all of that upper body set up as we drift back the hips towards the heels. Oh, feel that nice stretch. I'm going to walk my hands forward into a version of child pose. Keeping everything arched in the spinal column. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Step it in. Tuck your toes back under. And bring everything relative to the legs, knees, and feet, about hip width apart. But keep the hands wider, a little wider than shoulder width. Rotate those elbows internally. The toes tucked. Now I'd like you to pull up off your knees. And while we keep the bend in the knees and we keep the back in tabletop, I'd like you to drift back the hips to that nice stretch to the lower leg. Now, from here, we're going to take the hips, raise them up to the sky as we come into a abbreviated down dog. I'd like you to try to push the heels to the earth. The heels drive to the earth. I'd like you to take your tailbone and pull it to the sky. And then let's walk the hands back to the feet. Find an equal weight bearing front to back. Shift it forward and back. Get it. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the back in extension as you sweep the arms out to the side and then come all the way back up to standing. Hello, everybody. All right, salute the sun. And then relax the arms, take the left foot, step it forward. Take the right heel, drive it down to the earth. Take that palms onto that left shin and give you a micro bend in that left knee. Now, spine long, neck long. Chop through that left hip and fold forward. So, take the right knee and try to push it backwards as you drive that right heel to the earth. Take the right arm, sweep it forward, directly forward, and raise it as high up as you can without rotating through the shoulders. Just reaching up, keeping that elbow nice and straight, and then lower all the way back, sweep it all the way up, and try to control the balance from side to side. As we make the arm move up and down, that's the only thing that's really moving here. Adding a little bit of subtlety to this, take the ball of that left big toe without straightening out that left leg and push it into the mat as you raise and lower that arm. And then bring both hands over heart, step the back foot forward, set up the opposite side, drive the heel down. Micro bend in that right knee. Lean it in, you got the chop going on. Take that left arm forward. Raise it up, lower it down. Nice and slow. Try to avoid any type of shifting from side to side. Try to gain the strength or stability that we want for our bodies. This is good for our balance. This is an unbalanced movement, which means we have to exert balance type behavior to do it. It's very unstable, of course, but it's a good practice for balance. Raising as high as we can, not bending through the elbow, up and down with the arm. Ball of the right big toe, push it into the mat. We'll do a few more repetitions. And bring hands over heart, step the back foot forward. All right, getting it all done today. Now, I'm going to take the toes. I'm going to bring the heels of the feet slightly wider than the hips. Toes off the edges of the mat. Just enough we have the ability to kind of lower down. If we lower, I'd like you to be mindful of what happens upper body-wise. So, our endeavor to find depth in the movement shouldn't be found through a compromise of other stabilization of the upper body. So that said, as you lower down, I'd like your knees push forward, keep the weight back mostly to the heels, and find a depth that you can go to, and then rise back up. Now we're going to explore the range down. So take it down. When form starts to compromise, you know you're overexerting the muscles you want to be exercising right now. You're trying to get the movement in, but compromising the movement and the muscles that make it happen don't strengthen the muscles. They kind of weaken our movement pattern. So be mindful as you lower, be strong, and be wise as to know when you kind of hit limitations. Explore the range down one more time. See if you get a little deeper. Push it all the way back up. Nice. Now, take the feet, step them straight forward, keep them out to the edges of the mat. Sweep the right arm up, left hand, left hip, bring it across the midline of the body. Pull long as we sweep the arm in. Try to get the inside of that arm close to that right ear. So it's the right arm, right ear, pulling high to the sky. And as we practiced earlier, it's arching. So we're just kind of taking the pelvic girdle, rolling it in and out, arm nice and long, and coming back up, switching up sides, sweeping that left arm, oh, my throat's look wrong, up into the air, arm and ear nicely connected, and then arching. You'll notice that my legs aren't doing anything, but kind of rotating internally, externally through that left hip.
You back up straight, sweep the arms all the way up. Grab left hand over right wrist. And once again, we're going to take the pull. You'll notice that the orientation is long through the arm, but we're in front of the head. So I like you to take that hand over wrist and begin to pull across the midline of the body. And then I like you to take the left shoulder and rotate it forward. Left shoulder, rotate it back. Do that one more time. And come back up. Switch up sides. Pull it high, pull it across. And right shoulder moves forward and back. And as we come back square, bring hands over heart, step your feet into the most comfortable spot that you like. Let me say thank you for joining us today, joining me today. Namaste.
Hello. That was good, Sean. I needed that.
Thank you very
That
much.
was good.
Oh yeah, I needed every bit of that. It was perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sean, are you surviving without Kirsten?
You know, it's funny is I'm sick as a dog, actually.
Oh,
What's wrong?
I don't know. I have a really raw throat, and I have like a feel like last night it was between being freezing. I like flu-like conditions, I guess. I was like freezing cold, and then I'd be like swimming, and between the two, it's like back and forth. I was having a swim competition
God.
with
So
a
maybe you have COVID. Maybe you don't. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I woke up this morning. I had a couple Tylenol to kind of like stabilize, you know, all the
You
stuff
said
going on.
you
And I
found
think-
you sound throaty.
Yeah, I definitely have something going on with the throat.
Well, I hope you're not working aside from not canceling on us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you just gonna lay low?
I'm just gonna do yesterday I didn't work at all because it was just like I woke up and like it took me about 10 o'clock to get out of bed. It was just like not.
Wow.
And then I went and I had like some stuff I had to pick up at a job site to bring back to this project we're doing, you know, our apartment that we're fixing up. So I did that. And then after that, I probably finished around 4:30 or 5 and just called it a day. So
Yeah.
and then today I'll probably do just a little bit of work. I just can't go at it full 100%. I don't have it today.
Have you ever had COVID?
Not that I'm aware of. You know, we've done all of our shots, boosters, and all that other stuff. I haven't had
That doesn't mean
Omicron
anything
booster.
now.
Could
That
be.
doesn't mean anything. You know, there's something going around, but maybe you do,
Yeah.
maybe you don't.
Yeah, it's funny because the germ pool that I'm exposed to now is most of our trades people. And, you know, they'll come in really, really sick because they have to
I
work.
know.
Yeah.
And that's like, sometimes I guess I pick up something from them, which could be COVID, could be, you know, anything really.
Well, just hang low today.
Yeah.
Hang low.
Well, you have a doctor on the other end of this. So look at that. You get a free call. You get
Oh,
a free
So
call.
are you pulling out the doctor card?
No, yeah, not me. I'm pulling up for Mark.
So maybe you just have COVID, maybe you don't. Just hang low.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do, just to drink fluids and Tylenol and rest, and that's it. There you go.
There, look at that. That's free information right
Do you have to go to work tomorrow? I guess you do, don't you?
No, actually,
there. Labor Day.
Oh, that's right. That was perfect for you.
Yeah. Pick the best time not to feel well.
You really did. You should just
Just chill out.
listen to your body.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, that was great. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for.
I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
We'll find out on Wednesday. Not Wednesday. Well, Mark will find out on Thursday.
Thursday.
Feel better. Lie down.
I will.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. You did very well for being sick.
Yes, it was perfect.
I have some very important people.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Thank you. Well,
Wait till we tell Kirsten. Wait to tell her what kind of a class that was.
we
Not
appreciate it.
Duffy. Yeah,
Thank you.
agreed. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Stay well.
Thank you.
Bye.